It took me a minute to understand that if you don't believe your affirmations, you're just affirming a lie, you know? And so I really got into this idea of like invoking and decreeing. And so that was kind of what I had done, something of that nature, like right here, right now, I'm going to decide. And I think too, just uncovering all the ways that I thought I was supposed to be perfect and ridding a belief one thing at a time, shedding those and going, okay, but if I wasn't that person, how would I feel? And becoming that person. It was a few little practices like that. And then all of a sudden I was like, oh, there's love. I get it now. I'm supposed to feel this for me. That's why it's a good relationship when you have two whole people who understand that concept, that love is a condition of being human. It's like part of you. It's not a feeling. The rest is just dopamine and all the other stuff that you can get. And when you have those two, you can share that love together. You can share in that energy, become very alchemistic and synergetic. And that's what in love is. People who are sharing that. It's not adrenaline, But I mean, God knows I got it all confused for a real long time.
Hey there, and welcome to the Reclamation Room. I'm Ashana, and I'm so glad you're here. This is a space for women reclaiming themselves after narcissistic abuse. If you've ever felt like you were too much, not enough, or both at the same time, you're in the right place. I created this podcast because I know what it's like to lose yourself in overgiving, overperforming, and still wondering why it never felt like love. I've walked through trauma, toxic relationships, and the long road of self-reclamation, and I'm here to walk with you. In this podcast, we'll explore what it means to come home to yourself after the confusion and chaos of narcissistic abuse. Some episodes will be solo, others will include guest interviews. All of them will be honest, grounded, and deeply compassionate. So, whether you're just realizing what you've lived through, or you've been on this path and you're ready for the next layer of your healing, you are welcome here. This is not about perfection. This is about reclamation.
Hey, friend.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you? Did I find you or did you find me on
I probably found you on Podmatch.
Okay, perfect. Okay, well, that makes it a little bit easier. So, typically when I match with people on there, it's because I can tell that they have a unique angle that they can bring to the show. And because I get a lot of
Yeah, I get that too. Because I have a show too. And I've kind of started saying no to most like just typical coaches.
Yep.
Because I'm like, well, I'm kind of wanting to talk about how you got here.
Yeah. Same. What's your show?
Emotionally unavailable.
Stop it.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Yeah.
I was on your Instagram and was like, I want to be on the show. And I let my inner voice tell me, like, no, like,
what? No, come on my show. Are you kidding?
That's so funny. And then you found me.
Yes. Oh my God. Well, first of all, that's so fun that you saw it on Instagram. That makes me really happy. Yeah, no, I also have I started from a guest that I got on my show. I really wanted another show with a co-host where I could be a little more fun and talk about everyday stuff and not just the middle of healing,
Yep.
And so we started that Unquiet Soul not that long ago.
Oh, I saw that too.
Oh my God, look at us.
Bro, thank you, universe.
Yes. Yeah, we're having so much fun with that. So yeah, no, I'm really like, you come on Emotionally Unavailable. I would love that.
I'll do whatever. Like literally this for me is like I am a coach and I do the coaching and all of that stuff and I love it. I love it. But these conversations are so life-bringing to me. I'm like, this is why. I'm excited. Okay. Well, shit. Now I'm like, why are you on my show? What are we here to talk about today? Let's see. What was your backstory?
Crazy ass childhood, like addict parents. Dad died when I was 15 of a morphine overdose. I don't know what I would have put because I changed my pitch a little bit.
Oh my gosh, I do that too.
I don't think I told you that. I think I was talking like, in a more soulful way. But basically, I just had this crazy childhood. And then my dad died of a morphine overdose when I was 15. My mom died when I was 22 of alcohol related stuff, liver failure stuff, complications from that. And then I got married the first time when I was 20 years old, and had gone into adulthood thinking that my childhood did not have that much of an impact on me because like I wasn't
You're out
living
of it
my
now.
pain
Like you're
out
an adult
loud.
now.
Yeah, yeah. And I
Yeah.
was like, oh no, I mean, I'm not, addicted to drugs. I wasn't a teen mom. I'm not any of the things that I was looking to as markers for
Yep.
whether or not it had an impact. And then kind of went through adult life and hit, you can call it burnout, you can call it whatever you want, but at 43, I was very, very close to ending my life. And
Mm,
so I have been sharing my story of how I got from there to here in a
yeah.
very real way. Like very like these are actionable this isn't like bullshit. This is like
Yeah.
how you can actually get through this.
I do remember you talking about addict parents, and I also got married for the first time at age 20, so like same, same.
Oh my gosh,
Um,
hilarious.
I was also the overperform. Well, I don't know if you were an overperformer, but I was an overperformer. Like whatever looked normal, I did that, and I'm like, I'm gonna be the best at it because I'm functioning, right? Like
Yeah.
that's
Well,
what we
and the
do.
survivor's guilt too. Like
Yep.
I have to I'm not religious anymore, but I used to be. And
Mhm.
one of the things that religion was like really shoved at me was because God granted you the not having the problems your brothers do, because that had nothing to do with who you are as a person. That was just God.
Right.
You now need to do better than what you would have even and provide for your
Yep.
family who didn't.
Yeah, I'm wondering if you had this like added layer to it of like that's a part of my purpose and the plan for my life, and if I don't do that, then
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I've kind of only recently learned, I don't know how spiritual you are, but like I've kind of only recently come to my truth, which is like, no, actually, I believe we're all meant to have a sacred calling on this
Yep.
earth.
Yep.
But like, I think the purpose was to have a human experience and to try to like help
Yeah.
humanity. You know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
yeah, yeah. I have really crazy stories of like, now I truly, 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 truly believe it was like future versions of my higher self talking to me then what I thought was God, at the
Wow.
times at like 4, 14, of like that's going to be you, that's going to be you.
So you remember this at 4 years old, having thoughts like that
Yeah.
about like seeing your parents and what they were going through.
So the one at 4, I was crying because I was missing my mom because they were always kind of present in our lives, they just weren't raising us. We
Yeah.
did a lot of back and forth, but at this time she loved Needles, California, and we're from Oklahoma, and she would just take off on some random shroom filled adventure through Needles, California.
That's
And
far, isn't it? How far is
yes,
that?
very, very
Okay.
far. And we just wouldn't hear from her or whatever. And I was crying in my bed one night, and I think I was praying and stuff. And it was one of those moments that it was like, Melissa, you're going to use this pain for a purpose. I
Yeah.
know you miss your mom, blah, blah, blah. And then the one at 14 was very like, I was watching, I think it was like a Miss Oklahoma or someone like that, that came in to talk to a younger group of students in my middle school. And I just happened to be there getting lunch and was like, huh. And it was like completely dissociated off into this vision of like, that's going to be you one day giving speeches like that. And that was when, like, literally, I was told, like, your parents are both going to die and you're going to have a huge story and you're going to use that story to help others. Yeah, and that was the year before my dad died.
Seriously.
Yeah, it was wild. Stuff that I didn't used to talk about because I thought it made me sound crazy,
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
sure to some people I would still sound crazy, and that's fine. They're just not my people.
Yeah. No, I like these are the conversations that I'm in it because like chills head to toe. Then I get this like weird like gagging feeling and I'm like dig into this, you know?
Yeah.
Like and we kind of touch on this in my show sometimes with other guests where they'll have that moment of just like I don't know if it's zooming out. I don't know if it's clarity. I don't know. Like it's different for each person depending on what you
Mhm.
believe that it is. And so
Yeah.
saying like I think that was like future versions of my higher self. Thank God, right?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, because
Yeah.
how else might that have ended up? And also, there's this thread of like It could be believing in yourself. It could be a sense of purpose. We're actually watching a show right now called Boots on Netflix. It's really, really good. It's about this
Oh,
guy.
I've not heard of this.
It's about a guy who is gay and joins the Marines in the
Oh,
90s when it was illegal
oh,
to be gay in the Marines.
yeah.
And it's based on a
Because that
book.
isn't even don't ask, don't tell then, right?
No, it was like straight up like you will get kicked out. Like this is a big deal. You'll get like jumped and hurt for it and kicked out. And I don't know if it's a memoir because it's based on a book, but we're watching it. It will randomly like you'll hear music that you know they're not hearing, right? And it's in him. And then you see his other self and he's talking to himself and getting himself through
Ooh.
this. It's so good. It's such a good show. I don't even
What a good representation of what happens though, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's very real. Like I was doing some work the other day because you get to meet so many cool people on your show, and anytime they offer something free, I take it. And so
Yeah.
I had Lise Janelle on, and I booked with her to do her heart freedom method, I think is what it's called. And it's not anything that we don't know about, but this was the first time I had done subconscious work both with the inner child and my higher self at the same time, or like a 20-year-old, 20 years older than me, whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa, that I wouldn't have guessed that's because what 65-year-old me told me was you're not afraid of trusting other people, you're afraid of trusting yourself. Because that's what I've been trying to work through is my fear of trust. Yeah. And I
Yeah.
was like, holy shit, like, wow, this subconscious stuff really works. Because it's not a conscious
That
thought.
was deep.
Yeah. I was like, oh, you're so right though. But it made me think of that movie Butterfly Effect, like where did you ever watch that? But when he like later in the movie you find out all the blackouts he was having was the times his future self came back to those moments. And
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm kind of thinking all those times whenever I heard like you can do this or whatever it was, that was like some future version of me talking to me, man.
I have chills right now so badly, which is my body's like, yes. So, oh my gosh. Okay. So you had a wild childhood, no sense of stability. They were there, but it was like,
Pretty chaotic. Yeah, never any routine to when we would see them. Because my
okay.
mom, she was that typical, like, those are my babies. And so she did not care what she was on and
Yeah.
what she was gonna bring to the room if she showed up. Whereas
Yeah.
my dad was really more of like an opiate addict. And so he like had clarity in some of his actions. And he tried to avoid us a
Hmm.
lot
Hmm.
because he also just couldn't deal with his shame because he couldn't
Yeah.
give us birthday presents or whatever. And so he was much more sporadic in early childhood. Like we spent a couple of weeks with him in the summer through his sister. Like we would go stay at our aunt's house and he would be there, but it wasn't very consistent. But my mom, she was there way too much, if I'm being
Hmm.
100% honest. Like just
Yeah.
always messed up on something.
So you had these moments of clarity, lifeline, whatever we want to call it, of realizing like number one, this could be you. So like get it together,
Yeah.
girlfriend. Like you can do
Hmm.
this. Come on. And then that moment of that's going to be you. So did you instantly feel like that resonant yes of like I want to be doing that, or was it more of like what? No.
No, I definitely felt it. I was like, for sure. First of all, I don't know how much you are into astrology, but I'm a Leo moon. And so
Oh,
deep in my
I'm
spirit,
Leo moon.
oh my God, that is amazing. So,
Oh yeah.
always felt bigger, always felt ready for more, always felt unseen, but desperate to be heard, all of those things. So, yeah, I saw her and I was like, okay, thank you, higher self, because I do want that. I
Here
do. I
for
mean,
it. Here for it.
I wanted that even before 14. Like, I had certainly seen opportunities where I was like, I think I could do that even now, which is crazy
Yeah.
because I also had like low self worth and self esteem.
Oh,
So,
me too. Sure.
but
Yep.
for sure was meant for bigger.
Yeah, and that's what's so weird about it is like, I don't know about you, but talking personally here, like things have always kind of come easily for me, which is weird to say because my childhood was like, what the fuck is going on? Everyone's always been like, you've been through so much. And it was hard. It was a struggle. But the things that were right for me, even if I had to work really hard at it, it still just like flowed and it felt easy. It felt like that's where it was supposed to be. So I
Hmm.
always had that sense of like, am meant for something more here. And I did have that inner guidance of like, this feels good. I'm going to keep doing this. Did you have that?
I think somewhat. I definitely was very unaware of a lot of like the stuff you're talking about. It was more like I saw how I affected people when I spoke at a
Mm.
very young age. Well, and I'm decent at singing too.
Oh,
Yeah, like, and so I saw that. I'll say it this way now because this is the way I claim it now, but then I definitely like I saw the magic in my voice, however it was transmitting to either be saying or to speak. You know what I mean? And
yep,
so, and I did feel like the stuff I was experiencing could not have been for nothing. And
yeah,
so, whether it was me deciding I will use this as purpose or just the inner knowing, I definitely felt that. But also, to your point, certain things felt easy for me. I think like transmuting a room, like always
mhm,
felt easy. And
yep,
so, but it was more like, the way I understand like my human design now, it was more like if I was in the place I was supposed to be. And so naturally I gravitate towards those things that were full body yeses. And it was always in a way where it's like, man, people really like me, which
mhm.
again, I didn't feel
Yeah.
overall. It was only in those moments where I was creating magic in some
Yep.
way.
Okay, this is like, I love the way that you're putting this into words because I'm thinking in terms of the listeners here, right? Like, what have they been through? What are they going through? So I want them listening to this and I want them thinking, like, okay, moments of clarity. What might those have been for me? Okay, a lifeline. What might that have been for me? I always love to be like, did anything resonate? Like, journal about it, like, let's start. I
Mhm.
have a free Facebook community. Let's chat about it there. Like, what came up for you? And so the way that it manifests differently for people, I love how you just put that. Like, I didn't always have that sense of, wow, people like me. But when I was in the right place doing the right thing, I felt it and it felt right.
Mhm.
So that could look different for so many people, but it's important because when we have been through difficult experiences or had toxic or harmful relationships, that sense of self can feel so shattered and lost. And I want
Yeah.
people to listen and be like, it's still there. Where was it?
Absolutely. And the thing is, it really is this deep inner knowing that if you just still for a little bit, you can figure out. But for me, like, I remember I was on someone else's show a while ago, and the first question they ask is, when do you think you lost your innocence? And it stopped me in my tracks because truly I believe I lost mine by 2 months old because I was in the hospital with a failure to thrive diagnosis when it was because they were putting orange juice in my bottle and not formula. So, like, I was neglected to the point of hospitalization by 2 months old. I know that the separation between me and my body began then. And then you take grandma who tried her best, but was an awful caregiver in the terms of like lots of narcissistic traits, horribly critical, used me as her therapist from the time I can remember, was so hell bent on making sure we hated our dad as much as we quote unquote hated
I
our
hate
mom.
that. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, it was just a whole thing because my mom was around more. So we had a lot of anger directed at her because she was there creating chaos on a
Yeah.
weekly basis. Whereas my dad was just, okay, great. You feel like he's the reason for all of my mom's problems. I'm sure it has nothing to do with your abusive husband. That's fine. But there was just so much hatred in this home. And each year of my childhood just separated me further and further from my body. And
Yep.
so it's easy to look back now in moments of reflection and see where that happened, but that's what got me so in my head. Like I felt just like a floating balloon disconnected from my body because I couldn't get out of there. I had the loudest, noisiest, rudest brain ever, and I had no idea how to feel. So I get that it can be tricky. It can be tricky to go back and try to figure stuff out, but really just learning how to quiet the noise in your head gives you so much more connection to
Hmm.
you. And then you can see a little more clearly how, okay, yeah, I recognize I definitely felt a pull towards this, or what even now. So much of the things that lit me up then are the same things that light me up now. Baby, I love to talk. My Gemini self is just all the time. And give me a platform and I'm going to talk, but
Yep.
that's how I was then too. I just felt really silenced then.
Hmm. Hmm. Yep. So, okay, without this might be a trick question. So tell me how
Okay.
tricky this feels. So we're not looking at 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're not
Right.
looking at where are your feet. We're not looking at what is your favorite way of quieting what's going on in your head without it being like the same shit that everybody else is saying that we've all heard? And people are like, okay, tried that, didn't work. What's your go-to at that point?
Okay, a couple things. For one, I swear to you, I do not struggle with this anymore. So there's that. But the only thing that helped me, literally the only thing, and I don't think it's all that earth shattering information because I just saw this on like something I was watching the other day. I'm like, well, shit, I wish I had seen this when I was struggling. The 5 4 3 2 did not work for me because I'm such an overthinker that while I'm looking for the
Yep.
5 things, my other part of the brain's like, you should probably die. So, I mean, it was not working. But the only thing that worked for me was rapid fire naming the things I saw in front of me. Because what I found was most of my overthinking was happening either in the shower or when I was getting ready in the morning or in the car. Anytime it was too quiet and I
Okay.
couldn't mask in
Mm-hmm.
some way, it was just all this rumination. So the way I found this worked for me was because I was driving and I had just introduced to my subconscious the concept that if you do a check in with your body and you notice that you're in pain, neck, shoulders, back, you were overthinking. And so I was driving, and because I couldn't figure out when I was overthinking, this was still when I was learning how to feel. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
I'm driving and I'm like, holy God, like I am in so much pain right now. What's going on? Okay. I was overthinking. What was I overthinking about? Now I'm all riled up again. And I just started naming the cars that I saw in front of me, like colors, like as quickly as I could, whatever would come out of my mouth. It only took about like 6 things. And that will bring me and anyone who's used it so far from like a 10 to a 6. It's not going to take it all away, but you're no longer
Yeah.
running from the bear in survival mode. You know, you're ready, you're a little more grounded, you're a little more centered. It's not like this thing that immediately just fixes everything, but what it does is it puts you back in your body every
Mm-hmm.
time for me. So I know it's not that earth shattering, but it is what worked for me. And I just had
Yeah.
to try that over and over a few times. When I say over and over, each time as I was introducing this new concept to my subconscious and making it more of a conscious step, it worked. It got me back in my body. And then I'd say, okay, we're doing too much with our thoughts to begin with. Like, you can't intellectualize yourself through your
Oh my
thoughts.
gosh. Yes. I tried. I
I
tried so
tried my best. I tried so hard. I was so good at it not. Oh, that was but I had no idea. I didn't understand that that's what I was doing. And so many times I created some fight that I could have in my head instead of just being vulnerable and being like, that didn't feel good. And
Mm-hmm.
so then I just created this whole little situation that I could just ruminate on. I mean, not hours, days, weeks. I once gave my husband the silent treatment for 2 weeks. I was proud of that one too, because I'm a talker.
Bless his heart. Are you still married now?
Yes.
Is it part of
Not to
your
the
marriage?
first husband.
Okay. Okay.
No, 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 no. No, honey, no. That was a symptom of my issues. No, like, here's the thing that I'm like so happy about. I married like decent, kind men. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know why I didn't go down the path of all the other women in my family, but like the first one didn't work out because I outgrew him so quickly whenever I like started reaching. Well, when I went through my Saturn return, that's when we got
Oh,
divorced.
yeah. Is,
And so
is there any other time that something like
right,
that happened?
exactly. So yes, all the things. And then I married this one way too quickly after that one. And it's been a journey. I've learned my greatest lessons through my relationships. And so like that's why I was working on my fear of trust is because he's kind of the last piece of like how I treat people. And I forgive
Mm,
myself literally. I'm just like, this is that, but I want to figure it out. I don't want to be a person who's so
yeah.
snarky with their very kind husband. Like he's
Yeah.
so patient, truly. But yeah, so we're still married. I don't know how we got through the 2 weeks of silent treatment. I felt so right though about that and so many other things where I was like, I'm clearly the victim in this. So
Can relate. Can confirm.
Leo moons, Leo moons. We
Oh
are
my God.
very
So, okay. So I feel like this is good, like lore to know about you, especially the 2 week silent treatment, because I'm a like Scorpio sun sign, and I'm like, dang, ooh, that was good job on that one. But also, like, you okay? Are you okay? So I get it. Okay, you brought something up.
Scorpio sun and Leo moon. What's
Yep.
your rising? Oh, honey, that's who's rising.
I'm like,
Libras
what
are my
is
biggest.
this?
I'm an Aries rising. So now we have two things. We're sister signs in our risings, and we're both Leo moons. This is so karmic. Yeah. Well, it's just hard because if you view the world from a place of like nobody cares how I feel
Mhm.
ever, And I can understand now, like, I've put so much effort into confirming that belief.
Sure.
Like, I felt very right. I was like, because the fight was over him making a unilateral decision for like the umpteenth time. And he has the worst memory of anyone I've ever known in my life because he is an Aquarius sun, Libra moon, Libra rising, Gemini moon. Okay. Lives in his head. Dissociated.
I could not. I could not.
It's tough. It's tough for me because bless. But he doesn't remember anything. And so I had to really work through like expectation management and understanding that him forgetting had nothing to do with how much he loves me or cares about me or whatever. That was a big piece. And so he did something without talking to me first. It felt like a betrayal, but I didn't know how to like word that. And I guess it felt like the ultimate betrayal at the time because 2 weeks of silent treatment felt appropriate.
Kids, do not try this at home. We're not condoning this.
No, he was so sad. I would email him. Like when I wanted to fight, I would email him.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that made me sweat. Oh, that's funny. That's funny, funny, funny. So, I mean, we are who we are, right? And my favorite part of all of this is how you said, like, I forgive myself and I'm not going to shame myself for it, but there are still things that I would love to figure out and work on a little bit, you know?
Right. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing is I don't do that type of stuff to him anymore, and I'm getting better at apologizing. I didn't even realize I sucked at it, honestly, but it is tough for me. The idea of it, like right now, just thinking of it doesn't make me feel anything bad, but even as recent as maybe 2 months ago, picturing me apologizing gave me the full body yuck. It was like, oh God, no. And actually, I have an 11-year-old daughter with him. I have two boys with my first husband, and then I have an 11-year-old with him. She's actually helped me to overcome this because one day she was mad at me and she was Googling how to get back at your parents when they make you mad or something like that. She was doing it right in front of me, like just being.
That's your child.
Yeah. She's a Gemini sun, Virgo rising, Scorpio moon. Okay. Lord Jesus, did we really pick each other, you know? And so
Fly
she's
on
like,
the wall, man. Fly on the wall.
exactly. So she's just, and I'm dying laughing. But what was funny about it is what Google responded back with was all these ways to make amends with your parents when you've messed up.
Oh, who trained your Google?
I was dying laughing. It gave an example and a script. And the example was, so if you take your mom's car without asking permission, here's what you can do. And it said, I'm sorry for taking your car without your permission. And we're laughing or whatever. But she did something because she can be pure chaos sometimes. And I'm learning to regulate during those chaotic moments still. And she left and she came back to my room and she said, sorry for taking your car. And I was like, I love this because you have just shown me you have trouble apologizing. Like, I didn't even say anything at the moment. I was just like, I accept this apology so wholeheartedly because I recognize the difficulty in apologizing. Yes. And so I was like, I forgive you, whatever.
Yeah.
And she's been every time. That's how she apologizes to me. And I love it because it's lighthearted. It's safe for her. And it gave me permission to not have to go like make this big grandiose wordy apology.
Yeah.
I'll just straight up say, I'm sorry for being a bitch. And that is fine with him. And it feels good for me. It's easy if we need to talk about it. But that's really all I'm having to apologize. I did something bitchy real quick. I'm sorry. Like I'm seeing it. I'm sorry. And that has been like a whole transformation. But truly, when I came into the only love that exists is this love that we cultivate within ourselves. And I remember the first time feeling, okay, that's love. And then like my entire world like came together for a second to show me like, you do love me. Because all these years I was like, you don't love me as much as I love you. And just real Leo moon stuff. And I went to him and I was like, you do love me. And he was like, oh my God, thank God. Thank you for whatever you're doing on yourself to get there. But I couldn't feel love from anyone because I did not have that feeling for myself, which I was very unaware of. I was the person like, girl, you got to love yourself. I like.
Oh my gosh, yes.
None of it was true, though, not on the level it needed to be. So as I've cultivated that, it's gotten so much easier to be like, accountability is not a cross of perfectionism to be crucified on. And that's what I believe we were taught, that you can't be held accountable unless someone's shaming you to your death. And I did that to myself and then held other people's to those same standards. And so, yeah, now I'm like, hey, I'm human. didn't feel good that I just did that. So I'm going to do something different next time, or at least I'm going to work on that being a thing that I don't do again. But it is what it is. And I still get a little nervous about how that's received from others. Like, I'm okay to say it and know that some people are triggered by that because they're still holding themselves to that cross, and so they don't recognize that. And so it feels like I'm saying, carte blanche, do what you want, whatever. But I guess in some ways I kind of am, because I think that your soul is going to lead you to the things and the actions and the lessons and the whatever. And I don't think any of us are so inherently bad that we're going to be like, not anyone listening to this show anyway. Like, we're not bad. So no one's going to be like, yeah, I totally did this. And I mean, it's fine because I'm a human, right? I mean, yeah, I know when I've done something wrong, and I make the proper amends, and then I try to figure out what happened for that to happen. Where did I go wrong so that I'm not doing that? But I don't want to ever hate myself again, because now that I've found love, I don't want to let that go.
So I want to talk about that in a moment. I want to talk about your moment of finding love, but I want to also touch on how important this part of the conversation is, because when you have gone through any kind of transactional acceptance, there tends to be this underlying thread that like holds together the even a mini society or a mini culture of a family, but like on a grander scale too. There's got to be a winner and a loser. There's got to be a good guy and a bad guy. There's got to be someone who is to blame and who is going to be punished. It's this authoritarian energy that's just like, we've got to get to the bottom of this, and we've got to figure out who did it, and you've got to be punished for it, and you have to, all your amends have to include this, this, and this. It can't just be that you learn from it. Like, it's not even discipline, because you're not even learning anything. And we take that with us, and it's a poison. And we do that to ourselves, and then we do it to other people. And for me, I noticed that there was this fear of like, I was constantly like looking over my shoulder, waiting to get in trouble for everything. And so,
yeah, some real good girl stuff where you really don't even have to do anything to feel like you're in trouble. Yeah. I really noticed that too, in terms of like, if I looked back at where those things really manifested for me the most, was starting out like as a little miniature adult who's now in the workforce, and I'm giving you everything I have until I make that first mistake and have to receive a correction. And then I hate you now because I had to receive a correction. And I mean, that job, I mean, I was kind of a 3-monther, you know?
I was not brave enough to hate the person. Oh my God, I would never, because my dad would like not allow that kind of behavior out of me. So I was the, guess I'm just gonna go die then. Guess I'm a piece of shit. Like, oh my God, I'm the worst. I'm the fucking worst.
Well, see, I always converted that though. That was the feeling for sure. Like, she's a loser. But because I always internalized everything, I was a silent rager. Like, I just became passive aggressive petty queen in the workplace. Like, I'm just going to find ways to make you mad on purpose with plausible deniability, because I'm a Gemini. So I can manipulate the situation as well as I wanted to. I mean, I can't.
You're so fun. You're a bundle of fun. Chaos, but fun.
And fire. A lot of wrath. It was so painful because I didn't understand what was actually happening. And truly, I see this happen over and over with my younger brother. Like, he just has deep wounding in the worthiness stuff. And for so many reasons, he's still, and he's only a year younger than me. And so at 44 years old, he still can't maintain steady employment. And through this journey, I no longer judge that stuff, but I used to be his harshest critic, I promise you that. And now it just hurts me to my core to watch him suffer because of it, because he's not going to listen to me. But like, this is the way that you got to be perfect stuff can really manifest, because if you can't take, you know, a little bit of feedback, I'm not saying I'm still great at it. Like, I don't love it. Just tell me I'm wrong and I don't love it. Unless like I actually feel like I'm learning deep spiritual stuff from someone, and I'll take feedback. Like, because some people will be like, well, let me challenge that really quick. And I'm like, ooh, yes. Okay. Yeah. But that feels loving and not like parenting me because I resent any authority ever. That's the reason I can't work like a real job anymore. I'm going to use that in quotes, but like, you know, I have to be on this entrepreneur. My mouth is not going to stop now. Like gave me a little bit of empowerment, no more people pleasing with some boundaries and whatever. Like, no, I just recognized at the end of the work I was doing before, I mean, I was purposely doing stuff to get in trouble there. But I knew I wasn't going to get in trouble because the person was a little bit intimidated by me and it was obvious. So I just tried to push the envelope a lot. This was pre-healing, okay? But yeah, I don't like to feel like I'm in trouble, but I think that's why I'm so resistant to authority too.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so tell me about the moment when you felt that love for the first time. Do you remember like the context around that situation or just the feeling?
I know I was in my bedroom and I know that I was working on this very specifically. I think there was the seed planted months before when actually like the beginning of my awakening truly happened because I was doing a new moon situation, some sort of manifestation or ritual or whatever. And because at this point I was still very deep in my mental health crisis and I was looking to anything to like feel better. I had been pretty into astrology but was learning more and more and more. So I found someone on TikTok that I really liked and was doing this moon thing. But it required an identity audit. And I had done the thing where you write down like the characteristics of the person you're trying to become. And I had been future self journaling for quite some time then. And as I was looking at what was incongruent between who I was then and who I was trying so hard to become, the only thing that really, I mean, besides like money and that, but like as a person, the only thing that was different, truly, it took a little bit to see this, but it was that this person that I was trying to become was Zen Buddha, who was never going to react poorly to anyone. Because my deepest shame was my reactivity. Because boy, he probably thanked his lucky stars he got the silent treatment and not like the blah, blah, wrath, because I was
Yeah.
and then like the reactivity, I was triggered from the time I woke up till the time I went to sleep. And I mean that very literally. I lived in survival mode for 43 years. Well, really 44 because it took a little bit. And so it was in that moment though, because I had been working hard on like appropriate boundaries and because I knew resentment was a key to my reactivity too. And I had also gotten kind of bold in my advocacy of myself and others. And I had learned that I was an Aries rising. That was around that time that I figured it out. And I learned kind of what the plight of an Aries rising is. And it resonated with me so hardcore that I was like, I am fire. Like, yeah, like let's hold this fire.
Wait, you doubted that?
I just didn't know. Like I just didn't know.
I would love to see you then. Seeing you now and then seeing you then, I'm just like, wow. Like you've been on a journey.
Yeah, I was this in casual conversation, but like and then I was like the wise, let me solve all your problems so I don't have to look at my own. But in my private life, it was nothing but just snark all the time. And that was the minor version. It looked a lot like screaming at my children at the top of my lungs, cussing them out, all the crazy. But yeah, I was like, I like this holding the fire situation. And so I asked myself, why am I trying so hard to become that thing? Like perpetually unbothered. Like why what and I had been doing some shame work. So I was like, okay, it's because I'm ashamed of this and whatever. And I was like, no, I want to harness this fire. I don't want to extinguish it. So I'm not going to try to be that. So the journey then kind of became how to hold all of it. But right then, right there, I was like, I already am. Like, I'm already all of this stuff.
Yes.
I am good. I am great. I'm perfect exactly how I am. I only believed that for like that moment, but that was the beginning.
The spark, you felt it.
That was the awakening. That was truly the moment I awoken. And so I was just trying really hard to figure that portion out. Like, how do I feel that all the time? And so I started unraveling all of the ways in which I hated myself. So it was really intentional work. So I truly can't remember, except for I remember being in my bedroom. I remember sitting there on my bed doing something and being like, it's a decision.
Yeah.
It's a decision. And what if I just decide this? Because something I've had to learn, I know you know this, but it took me a minute to understand that if you don't believe your affirmations, you're just affirming a lie, you know? And so I really got into this idea of like invoking and decreeing. And so that was kind of what I had done, something of that nature, like right here, right now, I'm going to decide. And I think too, just uncovering all the ways that I thought I was supposed to be perfect and ridding a belief one thing at a time, shedding those and going, okay, but if I wasn't that person, how would I feel? And becoming that person. It was a few little practices like that. And then all of a sudden I was like, oh, there's love. I get it now. I'm supposed to feel this for me. That's why it's a good relationship when you have two whole people who understand that concept that love is a condition of being human. It's like part of you. It's not a feeling. The rest is just dopamine and all the other stuff that you can get. And when you have those two, you can share that love together. You can share in that energy, become very alchemistic and synergetic. And that's what in love is.
Yeah.
Two
Yeah.
people who are sharing that. It's not adrenaline,
Yep.
But I mean, God knows I got it all confused for a real long time. So,
Oh, same. Oh my gosh, same. And I love that you're bringing realness to this piece of like, why are you trying to make yourself be someone who you're not, right? Like, inner
yeah.
peace to me may look completely different than it looks to you. Calm doesn't have to mean be calm and don't say things and don't ever freak out and don't ever be loud. To me, calm is, can I be present with myself with however I'm showing up right now? That's calm because I'm able to
Yes.
observe it and be like, okay, well, this is how I'm showing up. That's the moment where you reset that pattern and you're like, is this how I want to keep showing up?
Yeah.
Make small steps, make small changes, like learn small lessons. And I think this episode, everything that you've said, these are big lessons.
Yeah. It's funny how you do this work a little bit at a time and then it just like measures to be this really huge thing. And how lucky I feel too to come back to a lesson to get this deeper understanding. Like I remember that day in my car being like, I already am all that. I'm just not like quiet. But that's
Yeah.
okay too. And oh my gosh, I am this. Like I am totally that. And then coming back to that lesson not that long ago over something else. I wish I could remember, but it was something like, you already are that. And I was like, oh my
Yeah.
God, it's just the same tie-in. It's just different, it's deeper.
I knew this already. I just didn't know that I knew this. Now I know that I know.
So many things like that. And it becomes so fun. And that's what I've learned is like have joy in all of these things. Like, yes, I get the opportunity to learn. Like I was telling someone yesterday, I went through some stuff with my middle child who's now 18, but he's a Libra moon, Pisces sun, Leo rising.
That's
And
interesting.
he has a lot of other really prominent just like placements. Super ADHD on the spectrum. And really just had a time of it with him through childhood, but he got into some drug situations while he was a teenager. I mean, he's still a teenager, but like, you know what I mean? To where like, I'm like, I don't know how to handle this because this is literally my worst fear.
Yeah.
Literally my worst fear coming true. And one day I was talking to my older son about it. I'm like, well, it's not even a surprise. This is what I always worried about. And he goes, well, dang, mom, maybe you manifested this. And I was like, ew, that's so true. And so just like he taught me how to start making more positive assumptions.
Yep.
Like, well, I mean, he could do this, or this could be a phase. This could be a whatever. But really, that's to your point that you were saying earlier about like authority and, like punishment. What is the point of this and whatever? And it was during that time that I really started taking the approach of like, I need to guide him. There's nothing I can do. He showed me at a real young age, like, he ain't gonna listen. He ain't gonna listen. And so he will if what you say makes sense to him. And so I just got very real with him and was teaching him what I was learning at the same time. It didn't stop every little thing that could have happened, but it didn't get as big as it could have. And just learning each little step of the way that you do, like what you say matters. But what my point was just the absence of him doing that stuff anymore. My life is so much better. Nothing else has changed, but when you get a little bit of contrast and you're like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm
Yep.
just so grateful that is over in my life. Like that's kind of what I feel like the last few years have been for me is to go, okay, how do I show up in a way where I can experience joy in almost any situation. And that really helped me understand that.
Yeah. And it's hard so for me, I couldn't really be a kid that much. I was
Mhm.
doing grown up things. So I tried to play with my siblings when I was a young teenager, but at that point I had gone to live with my dad, and then the physical abuse started, and so I never really got that chance to be fun. And I realized as an adult finally one day, I was just like, life is just not fun. Like, I'm not having fun. Of course, I'm
Mhm.
waking up miserable every day. Like, of course. And now I'm not even looking forward to anything being fun. And now when my kids are trying to be fun, I'm squashing their fun because nothing is magical. Stop it. Everything's awful. And so just like you said, making small tweaks, small changes, and I intentionally started trying to have fun, trying to add more fun in, looking to them
Yes.
to show me how to have fun when I hit that moment of like, I don't know how to do this.
Mhm.
And I feel like the universe gives us these messages back of like, yes, this is good. Yes, keep going. Look at you. You're doing a great job. And
Yes.
I think that's important to look for. Like you said, we get to, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I think too, we're under this false belief that like fun should be natural or easy, and I'm going to guess that anyone listening has the same experience as us. And so for me, it wasn't, I had to get into the energy of fun before I could have fun, because I also learned so much of my fun was tied to other people's fun. My
Mm-hmm.
oldest son is a Scorpio sun. So it's a hit or miss on whether or
Yep.
not he gonna have fun. He's
Yep.
he's turning 23 Saturday, but it really helped me. And then, he and my daughter are too much alike, and so they will fight, but even though they're 11 years apart. But like, I had to start going, okay, how do I want to feel while
Mm-hmm.
this is happening? Like while we go camping or hiking or whatever. Because I kind of had to make a list of like, well, what are things I think might be fun?
Yep. I did that. I had to do that too. Like,
Yes, because I
I
had
don't
no
even know.
idea. I was like, well,
Yep.
what do you do for fun? I do love pickleball. That one was easy, but
Oh,
you
I
got
love
to play
pickleball.
with
Oh my
you.
God.
Oh my
I'm so
God,
bad
it
at
was
it.
such joy. I
And
was
ping pong.
decent. I haven't played ping pong. I mean, I have in my past, but I haven't played it recently. But I love pickleball. But you got to have people to play with. So like that, I couldn't get people to play with me every day.
Yep.
So I was like, well, what else? And so I kind of started, I recognized I feel amazing in nature. So I want, more nature things. I recognized my deep call to natural water. I do that, you know, but I had to learn, because my happiness would be so tied to whether or not they were happy. All of the times I was like, oh my God, we're going to have this vacation, and I'm happy, smiling faces. And that was the expectation. So then the second it went south, because it always will, guess who gonna go?
Here, this was a
Yeah.
stupid idea. I hate
And I'm going to be
vacation.
the most loud about it too. You're all going to regret complaining. I'll promise you that. I promise you're going to wish you had acted like this was the best
Oh
thing that's ever
man.
happened to you. Because I'm going to make sure you're the most miserable that I created it. It was
I
awful.
love that you can admit this now. I love that you can say, like, look,
It was
this
bad.
was. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, and that, yeah. I don't think that I do that stuff very often anymore, but man, I was the energy of the room, and oh, it was bad.
Hmm.
And it wasn't hard to change my energy either. Like that's what really sucked. So I recognized that, and I was like, no, 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 no. I need to picture me smiling and me having fun. And I had to do like some real energy work around this, where I go to my happy place.
You just gave me like the biggest, like, because sorry, plant. We're looking to them, our, I'll say me, because I don't know about you, but
Nope, but you're
my
right.
sense of success
Yep.
and usefulness was tied to whether or not I could manage their emotions and make sure they were happy, which is exactly how I felt with my parents.
Absolutely. Well,
Oh,
because that's when you know you're good.
yeah.
When
And I knew
everybody's
that, but when you
happy.
feel it, I just felt
Mhm.
it. I just
Mhm.
felt it. And I'm like, that's it.
Yeah. I really had to recognize, and I don't even remember how I got there, honestly, besides like I had done one session with someone who offered a free session. She was like, she was working with me on something really specific, but I used this as a tool. How do I want to feel when this is over? And so I created my little happy place then, which is me on a beach, lake or ocean, doesn't matter, at sunset, but just when it's just starting to come down, it's like over, the whole horizon or whatever. And I'm just basking in the sun with my arms out and my eyes closed. Every time it makes me smile, every time. And
Wow.
so that's where I go. And that's where I go if I need a reset in the middle of children who have very big feelings.
Yep. Yep.
And so Like, and yeah, I'm working currently through, like, their lessons are their lessons, and I can't keep trying to fix it.
Oh my God. Say it
Yeah.
again.
I'm working so, because like my middle one that I was just telling you about, he is so ADHD and doesn't like the way the medicine makes him feel, whatever. So he doesn't take it. That's fine. That's his path. But he lost his wallet the other day.
No.
And he's this poor little 18-year-old who moved out a couple of months ago and is just living real poor. And I love that for him. He's got his independence, his freedom, he's happy, but he has no extra money. And in that wallet was $23. When I tell you how hard I cried when he left, because I wanted to give him the $23, but I also know he has to fucking learn
Yeah.
to be more responsible with his stuff. And he was refusing to call the place he was before where he believes he lost the wallet because he's so sure that what his brain is telling him he remembers is true. I know in my gut he didn't lose it where he thinks he did, but he don't want to listen. Okay. But I was crying. It hurt me so bad because his little $23, and actually it didn't bother him near as bad as it was bothering me. And so I was like, Melissa, like, it's okay that this hurts. Whatever little Jakey's gonna learn through this, like, this is on him. You can't fix
Oh
this.
my gosh.
And I'm having to do this all the time with my 3 children. It's just something all the time where I'm like, I would have tried to jump in and rescue them, stored up a resentment.
Yep.
When I do this, you now owe me something. I don't know what, but niceness or
And you're not shaming them. That's good.
yeah, yeah.
That's super cool. Like, go mom.
That's been the big work, is no shame. Not for me, not for anyone else. Which I kind of believe most of, oh, I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings, but most quote unquote consequences that are provided to children for their actions are done through shame.
Yep.
So when I eliminated all shame and I said, well, what do you actually want them to learn through this? How can we get there? Kind of didn't leave room for quote unquote consequences or punishment anymore. It just was a conversation at that point.
Yeah, because if your best friend makes a mistake, are you going to like punish them with something? No, you're going to have a conversation with them and they're going to have to you're going to have to understand one another to some degree, whether that's this is how we want to do this in the future if we want to work together and flow and mesh and vibe,
Right.
or
Right.
this isn't going to work and we're not going to be together anymore. Well, these are our children, right?
Yep.
And so it's our responsibility to hold space for that possibility for them. You're a person. However, right now, my job is to keep you safe and to guide you and to lead you. And even if I don't know
Right.
what I'm doing, we got
Right.
we got to learn. So let's at least do our best to do that together.
Yeah, and I mean, there were some things, like there was a time when I took his phone and I straight up said, I have to keep you from communicating with some of the people that you're communicating with
Yeah.
for right now. For right now, that is what is best for you. I know that intuitively.
But
It's
that's
not forever.
protecting. It's
Yes,
not
I was like,
like,
I'm
yeah,
protecting you from
yeah,
yourself right now until we get through this little thing, blah, blah, blah. And that was how most things went. But for the most part, especially as he was getting older and older, like and close to aging out, it was very much just like, I want you to be able to make these decisions for yourself with some really good rationale. But I also think whether it's your friend, your kid, whatever, the more work you do to see every part of yourself, the more you see the you in them and
yep.
the them in you. And you go, I know exactly how that happened
Mhm.
because I've done this exact same thing. Maybe it didn't look, I mean, I didn't do even a quarter of the thing this boy did because I was the golden child people pleaser in my family, and he is very much opposite of that. But I made decisions with a lot of the same motivators, and I can see where shame has motivated a lot of his behavior. And so, what am I going to do? Come in and pile that on? I
Yeah.
did used to be a shaming kind of parent. I mean, my poor oldest child went through all of that. So now, when he sees me trying to parent his sister differently, it really causes some conflict because he doesn't feel seen in that moment. And I have to just say, you're right. I didn't do that with you, and I'm sorry.
Yeah. We can't bring that back now. I can do my best now and I can be here for you now. We can't get those years back.
Yeah, I wish we could. Sort of. I
Mhm.
mean, I don't think I'd change anything now because it was the path to enlightenment, but it's hard. It's hard to see their pain, the things that you've caused.
Yeah. And this to me, like, this is like the big picture idea that, like, I wish that I could put it into words because even what you just said about your child, like, I wouldn't change anything now because that was the path that got me here. And so we're looking at these faces of these humans that, like, I would lay down and die right now for you. Like, and yet I hurt you. And
So
yet
much.
I would give anything to take that back. And yet, if I took that back, then you wouldn't have the mom you have now. And that is the human journey.
That is it right there in
Oh,
it
we
all.
go in our heads and we
Yeah.
overthink and we like blah, 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 blah. And we're trying to get away from it. And it's like anything we can do. Like when you're trying to hold on to a cat and the cat wants you to let them go, like that's what we do to the human journey.
Yeah. Yeah, you're
And
so
it's like,
right. No, that's such a great analogy because what you said earlier really just oh, I was like, yes, you're so right about there's got to be a winner or a loser, fair and unfair, right and wrong. That was the life I lived every minute of every day, and I was the one who was always right and always being wronged by someone else.
oh my
And
gosh,
I
stop
just
it.
didn't see that. I just didn't see that. I really, if someone had straight up, which my ex-husband's wife did say this about me once, and it did make me feel violent. She was like, oh, she's such a victim, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, first of all, pot calling the kettle black. But at least now I know about myself. Okay, honey. But like, I was like, what? Me?
Mhm.
That's the last thing I am because I'm empowered and I went through this, this, and this. And here I am on the other side of it and blah, blah, blah. And like, my husband would very lovingly, like, mention some of my maybe manipulative tendencies.
Maybe manipulate.
And I was like, can't believe you would say that.
Whose side are you on?
Right. And it was never mine. Never mind. Never mind. But I mean, I just learned like, no, honey, you're just walking around feeling betrayed by like being a human. Anything that anyone else does hits me in the betrayal wound. But now I know betrayal is my hugest wound and it's an easy target to hit.
Oh my
And now I
gosh.
know what it feels like. So I just go, oh,
Yeah.
betrayal.
I'm having so many like moments in this episode. I'm like, shit, my relationships, like, because I've even asked myself, like, I was so obsessed with that person. Like, I was so in love with that person. And then it just like went away, like turned off. I would love to go turn it back on. I would love for this relationship to keep working out. However, the moment you like put other females before me, it didn't matter that you asked for forgiveness and I'm so sorry and I won't do that again. Like, that was it for me. Like, done. You betrayed me. It's turned off. It's not coming back. And now you said that, and I'm like,
It's such an avoidant trait. It's the fear, and then the other part for that for me that will give me the ick immediately is expectations. Because the fear truly is I'm not enough. I can't trust myself and I'm not enough. And so anything that triggers that is for me, it is an instant. Like I can cut you off so fast. Now, you trigger my anxiety at all and I make me chase you some. I'm coming. Full force press. Here we go.
man,
Yeah.
humans are funny.
I'm very, very like figure it out because on this side of it, it is so fun to make fun of those things about myself. Like, I have no shame. I could tell you thousands of stories of all the dumb, crazy stuff I have done with no shame because I am embodied in this life now and I am like experiencing joy and peace
You're
and,
actually
and
here.
yeah, and truly,
Yeah.
we're just supposed to get the most out of this experience as possible and teach others how to do that.
Yes.
And
And my favorite part, I think, like I'm growing into this actually. This did not used to be rephrase. I used to have bits and pieces of this, which always guided me forward. I keep pulling my hair. However, it was covered over by my fears and my wounds and my insecurities. And so I'm growing into this belief and I'm realizing that my favorite part of this is that every single human has their own specific flavor of doing it.
yeah.
And it doesn't have to be my way.
No, I mean, I'm getting okay with gravitating towards the people who do it my way
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I kind of like, oh, we're aligned. Like, because
Yeah.
I think that's how this goes is like you do it in with your flavor and then find your people who like that flavor.
Yeah. And it meshes.
As
Yeah.
long as we're not being shitty to the other flavors,
Yeah.
like the whole TikTok group 7 thing now. I don't know about that, but like, as long as we're not being shitty, just find your flavor because like we need community and you can't be in community with the entire world. And if we want to make these real life ripples and change this entire planet, it starts with you and the people in your household and then the way your people go out into the world and the little flavors that they bring in and then their little flavors. I mean, that's how we do this. So I think it's okay to really like lean into who your people are because I think I'm pretty open about the fact that I'm still looking for people because I don't really have like a lot of in real life people who live near me to congregate with now. I mean, that's the journey. I mean, when you level up, they disappear. And so I don't mean that with any malice. It just is what it is. And sometimes if I really let myself, I could be a little bit lonely, but I just pour myself into conversations like this because that's one of the reasons they don't want to be hanging out with me is because I'm too serious for them. And that's fine. I don't want to talk about unserious stuff. You know?
I cannot do small talk. Like, and I see all these like Scorpio memes, like Scorpio, I keep hitting this plant. I'm gonna have to move you over. It's gonna get mad at me and die. Scorpios hate small talk. I never in my life, like when I see that, I'm like, yes, oh my God. Like it is torture for me. People will say things and I'll be like, why does that even matter? And I'm not a judgmental person. I'm not judging you for that's important.
It doesn't feel.
And so what you're saying, like find the people that you vibe with. Yes. And then another layer of that for me is the people who aren't your flavor. Don't distract yourself. Don't give your like busy work with worrying about their flavor, trying to control their flavor, trying to change their flavor, like trying to label and pathologize their flavor. Like stop it. You're distracting yourself from what's going on inside of you. Figure out your flavor. That's the work.
That's so absolutely true. And I think we probably spent a lot of our lives trying to make, our flavor fit with other flavors. And will you accept my flavor? How can I change my flavor to make you like it more?
It can be any flavor you want.
Any flavor you want. Exactly. And I was too. I used to pride myself on what a chameleon I was. And while internally small talk never felt good, I became very good at it. I was whoever you wanted me to be, whoever you happened to be in front of me. And as I've grown, I've just recognized the like full body no to those conversations. Like, please do not come talk to me about the weather. Please don't talk to me about the weather. I'm going to be rude to you. And like, I have zero tolerance for boomers anymore. Like, zero. I'm so serious. This is something I'm working on because I have such hateful thoughts at the gym when I see them going and interrupting someone's workout to just, say something stupid to them. And I'm sorry, but it's true. Like, just shut your mouth. Just let people live. Don't come talk about dumb shit that doesn't matter. But like, I love to talk about things that really matter. And to me, like, and this stuff matters to other people too. So I'm happy to sit and have this kind of conversation. And I used to feel like that made me too much. And so that's the stuff I tried to water down and ended up, as females especially, we're really conditioned to bond through talking shit and complaining. So big gossip, I never didn't tell your secrets. Did I lie my ass off and tell you I wasn't telling anyone? Yeah, obviously. How gossip works. But the shame I would feel every time. Every time I'd be like, I told her I wasn't going to say anything and I just couldn't help myself. Well, because what else were we going to talk about? And that's what I saw modeled for
because
me.
if you talk about the things that like we enjoy talking about, you get weird looks. You get like left out of the group plans, and then people are lying to you about why they don't want to hang out with you. And it's like, just be honest with me. Just tell me you don't fucking like me. Like, okay, take it.
Yeah. Well, people just don't vibe with me like that anymore. Like, I mean, truly, now that I'm not like low vibe trying to, please everyone, I kind of repel them now because, I'm going to
get pushed out of your
talking about wounding. Yeah. I mean, even my closest friends, I've really like struggled with this, and I'm okay with it because I had to learn how to sit with myself anyway. That was really something I had to work on because all my self-sabotage happened in those moments alone where I didn't know what to do with myself. But also, this has helped me find at least an online community, people I can text, people I can, have a video call with, whatever. Because I'm pretty comfortable with entertaining myself.
I wonder if, and I don't know why this just like popped up listening to you, but sometimes I feel like we can be in search of community that is like the reciprocity is constant, right? Like we think of like the village or, and I'm wondering if some of us are just more, this is something's happening while I'm saying this. I was going to say maybe you're here as more of a, what's your human design? I'm a 6'2".
3'5".
What is that?
Raider.
I don't remember what 3'5" is. So I was thinking, like, what if you're here as more of like the role model, like the shower of new ways, right?
No, and I respond and don't initiate. So yeah, I was actually just doing this whole human design thing for business, not like before we started talking. And I mean, it's been confirmed to me over and over and over that I'm always going to be the person that people are looking to
Yeah.
when they're ready for something. Then so like it's like I'm talking to the void
Yep.
until they enter the void and grab
Yep.
on.
What
So
I was feeling.
yeah, it's very spot on, because that in some ways I like it because I'm comfortable with that, because
Yeah.
I've always been the person who was giving advice and whatever because I didn't want to look at my own stuff, obviously. I think where I feel, I'll say sad just for no other word, a little sad, or maybe having trouble managing expectations, is because I was ready for the first time in my life to like be able to say my stuff to someone too. Like, you know what I mean? And then it's not that I don't, but it's whenever they're ready to talk about their stuff, then that's how I give, is by being like, this is what I'm experiencing right now. You know, like this entire conversation has pretty much been how I live my life, is like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm learning this and da, 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 you know.
Yep, same. It's just interesting too, because when I was saying that, it was still forming itself, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like we're informed by the way that we were conditioned to view the world, how we our communication styles, like all these things, and we shed them and we strip them away, and then like here's this person, and we're like fresh newborn baby, like naked, nerves are out for the world, and we're like, okay, let me take
Uh-huh.
these steps forward, and also we're getting feedback, like yes, this is fun, yes, this is good. It's literally like we're infants and we're learning, like
Yeah.
we're growing up.
Yeah, and listening to our intuition for the first time, feeling into
Yeah.
like what feels good and what doesn't, and not ignoring when something doesn't feel right, or trying to please somebody your way into a room, you
Yes,
know?
yes. And community, oh my gosh, here's the icing on the cake. And I think this is like, this was what was forming for me. Our communities, people, like the flavors that mesh with ours, they're the people that who are there now, who are saying, you're okay, you're accepted here, you're loved, you're so awesome. And that's what we all needed, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's what's really cool, is like the second you and I started talking, like you feel that like
Yeah.
immediately, you
Yes.
know?
Yes.
You know when the person in front of you was meant to be in your energy.
Yeah.
And that's like I really put that call out to the universe when I started my podcast and started private practice, whatever. Whoever's meant for me, send them. Like
Mm.
now I have had to start learning to use my discernment, because at first I just accepted anyone who asked because I was like, well, they must be meant for me.
Yep. Yep.
Nope. But when I feel into every decision I make and I go, does it feel right? Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. When I do that, you can't go wrong. You just can't, because yeah, kind of like feeling so seen in a conversation where like you totally know everything I'm saying, that feels really good, and it heals a little part of you every time you're in community with someone who just gets it,
Yep.
loves you for who you are. Like, just, you laughing at my jokes is excellent,
That's
feels
so
good.
funny. Well, so here's my thing. The annoying one is like if someone's for me, send them. Doesn't it? That also includes like the people who are here to like mirror the shit back to us
Teach
that
you lessons, those
yeah,
wonderful
and I'm
ones.
like,
Yeah.
okay, taste of my own medicine. Thank you.
Yes. I've been saying to myself the last couple days, as I'm getting like much more confident in my, I'm going to put it this way, abilities as a creator, I've been saying to myself, I don't want that lesson anymore.
Done with this one. Next,
I
moving
do
on.
not want that lesson anymore. No. Nope. If
This is
there's a
what we call
belief, I'll figure it
proactive.
out right now. Cause don't do it to me anymore. We're done. We're done. I know there's something to learn here, but I'm like, that's kind of what I'm doing in everything right now, is just kind of like leaning into the fact of like, I think I kind of got this shit. I think I kind of got it figured out. Like the most I have those so far, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yep.
Like I am learning, and you kind of hinted at this earlier, like to accept that I'm not going to be 100% right gives me permission also to look to other people and go, that doesn't resonate.
Yeah, that's a good
I had
point.
someone the other day, I said something and she said, that's not how that works. And I was like, I feel kind of mad. Like that was rude as fuck. And so it took me, I just redirected and whatever. And I was like, okay, well, that's kind of rude, but all right. And then later I just thought, it is okay for you to not believe what she said.
Mm-hmm.
That's okay. Just because
Mm-hmm.
she calls herself an authority on this subject, something you know very little about, doesn't mean that you have to believe what she said.
Because
Yep.
that's why we have science. Science is constantly growing and being proven wrong. So, like, isn't
Right.
everything? Isn't everything constantly growing and potentially being proven wrong? Because there's new flavors being born every day.
Yep. Yep. Well, and that's kind of my design too, is to constantly be in the messy middle of some new transformation and just share it.
Yeah.
Like that's the magic for me. And so I'm getting more comfortable with the whole idea that there's more than one right way. And again, with the flavors, it's like you got to be a little different in order to form the community that you fit into. So
Yeah.
I'm going to own my differentness and honor the difference in others. But some flavors just don't mix well, and so y'all going to stay over there. Y'all going to stay over there.
Yeah. The one thing that I'm taking from this is that, like, even if we feel that sense of purpose or that lifeline or that thread we talked about in the beginning, even if we have a sense of like, I know what's coming for me and I know that I'm meant for something more, it can be so freaking uncomfortable to learn the lessons of that, to step into that, to embody that, to be okay with that, to claim it. Like, oh my gosh, it can be so like,
It hurts. It's a very
yeah.
painful process. It's truly painful. But if I were to offer one piece of advice about any part of a spiritual or emotional journey, it truly is stop leaning into the bullshit that your brain is telling you. That's just like you know better. If you're listening to this show, you're already far enough along on this journey to know that's a lie. You also know you're only going to grow through pain. It's never going to be sunshine and rainbows that gives us the lessons because you have to have dark to get to the light, period. So you're going to have the pain, but what helps you get through the pain so much faster is to stop. Get out of the pain bathtub. Don't bathe in the shit. Get out and go, all right, all right, all right. What am I supposed to learn? Please shift my paradigm. You give me a different perspective. What am I supposed to see? Get a little desperate if you need to, but don't lean into the bullshit that your brain is feeding you. And also understand we are humans. And so sometimes what feels like depression is just a chemical low. It's just a chemical low.
Yes.
It's just a chemical low. So if you start leaning into the things that your brain says when you have a chemical low, kind of like extra progesterone makes me want to eat a lot more. Like, I got PMS right now, I'm just eating more. That's fine. It is what it is. But like when you're at a chemical low, your brain is going to lie to you a little bit more. And so you just have to learn to go,
don't keep going down the same pathway and feeding that because
exactly. If you understand this is just a chemical low, and here's what I know helps me get a little bit of dopamine. It's going to be different for all of us. Sometimes it really is a piece of chocolate. Sometimes it is a yoga session. I can't do yoga when I'm in a chemical low because I don't have the motivation to move my body then. But if that works for you, excellent. But don't lie to yourself. Figure it out for you. Figure out what do I need to get out of this? Because that truly is the key to most of this, is quit listening to your brain. It is lying. It is lying to you, and it's just a chemical low. And so if you don't lean in and you just ask yourself, like, what can I learn from this right now? Not the lies, but there is true pain that you're going to go through when you're evolving. That's just that. But it will be so much shorter lived. And I mean very short lived. Because once the belief that attracted that experience to begin with is healed, the experience goes away. And that's the truth of it.
When your patterns change, that's when your life changes. I tell all of my clients, unfuck your mind, trust your gut, listen to your heart.
Oh my God. Do you know? So that's your framework. Do you know what my framework is? You're going to love this. Quiet the noise, connect to self, embody the light.
Stop it.
That's so
Are you
funny.
me? Are we like different flavors of a similar person?
I'm saying that's so great. I love it.
Oh man. This is great.
I've had a really good time. Had a bunch of cancellations earlier and I was a little pissed, but I actually thought to myself, you know what? Maybe I was supposed to conserve my energy because this conversation is going to be so good. And you know what? I believe that now.
Boom. I had every single person cancel on Monday. I was like back to back to back to back all the way up until the evening. And I'm like, this is really strange, but maybe I needed an admin day. So yeah. Okay. Well, I'm going to call my kiddos. They're out of school now. And then I have a freaking fall festival to go to.
My heart goes out to you.
I know. And then if you want, I can come on sometime soon because that's so much easier for me.
I would love for you to. Yeah.
Okay. Bye.
Thanks for spending time in the Reclamation Room. Be sure to follow or subscribe so you never miss an episode. And if this supported you, consider sharing it or leaving a review. You're not alone, and your reclamation is sacred.
Fun at your fall festival. I feel sorry for you, but that's
Thanks. Okay. Bye.
Bye.